Yes, this is a college freshers edition where I get to advise the freshers on, how to navigate their way in uni and how to have a very seamless stay. Hey loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie Wendy, and in this video I am going to be dishing out advice to the freshers. Yes, this is a college freshers edition where I get to advise the freshers on, how to navigate their way in uni and how to have a very seamless stay in uni. If this is your first time clicking on this channel, please kindly click on the red subscribe button below to become a part of this family. And if you end up enjoying the video, do give it a big thumbs up. Now, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. So I am fully aware that this is the ending of September and the beginning of October, which is a lot of new students who apply to schools have already been accepted. They've already gotten the acceptance letter, they've already been admitted, and many of them are already preparing to go back to school, or maybe are already in school. If that is your case, if that is your situation, you're welcome on board, because on this video, this is the space you're supposed to be in, because I'm going to be giving you the advice that will be very, very beneficial to you throughout your journey in uni. So the first advice I'm going to be giving to my freshers is to resume early. I mean, this point I cannot overemphasize, because everyone, I feel like at this point, should even be in school. I know that when you get your acceptance letter, when you get admitted to school, you begin to buy everything you need. I mean, that one is subjective. That's why I'm not going to make videos on what to buy or what to get for school. It's subjective. If you can finance buying your things for school, fine. So my number one point is to resume early. I mean, this point cannot be overemphasized. I mean, resuming early is just something that I feel like everybody should know. You must have passed the stage where you've gotten your acceptance letter, you've gotten things you need for school, and you're on your way to school. The importance of resuming early is just that you will be able to settle down early enough before the workload of the 100 level begins. And settling in entails getting an accommodation, and getting an accommodation entails like being in school early for you to be able to select the best possible accommodation that you can get, because they say variety is the spice of life. And when you resume early, you get the chance to pick not just one, not just two, but at least different apartments. And you know that there are some factors you need to consider when sorting out for this apartment, like the proximity from that apartment to school. You don't want to be in your first year where before you get to school, you have to shuttle it out. You have to probably take a cab or take a taxi or take a bus from where you're living kilometers away from school down to school every morning. And in some cases, or in most cases, you're going to even be missing lectures, or before you even attend the lecture must have even gone halfway, or maybe the lecture must have been ended. No, you want to be able to resume early to school so that you can get the best possible choice in accommodation. You'll be able to meet these agents, look for the best house, at least the one that the distance from the lodge to school is not so much, and aside even the proximity, you have things like good power supply, water, and the like. So resuming early to school is actually very, very important. If you are at home at this point and your school has resumed, I don't know what you're still doing at home, you should be in school. I mean, I cannot overemphasize this point enough. Resuming early would help you settle in on time. You don't want, when your mates are learning in class, you are outside looking for lodge. I mean, I don't think that is a very good start for a fresher. I don't think so. But when you resume early, you're able to settle in early. Everything that has to do with your accommodation is out the window, because you've gotten all that sorted out. When you're in class, your mind is at rest, because you know that your accommodation, your load, and your property is in your care. Not that you're squatting with somebody and maybe you're in class and you're afraid, they've not put my box. So no, you don't want that kind of situation for yourself. So do so to resume early. My second advice for the freshers is to try as much as possible to complete your registration if you can. like I said, if you can, try to complete your registration. It's very important. And I know that a lot of the time, because of how tedious and how Herculean completing this registration can be, a lot of people do it halfway, get halfway, and actually give up on it and be like, oh, maybe my 200 level I'll do it, or maybe my 300 level I'll finish up. But no, if you can complete that registration in your 100 level as early as possible, please do, because it might actually come back to haunt you. So here's a case study. So sometimes maybe and it might not even come back to haunt you in your second year or your third year, probably in your final year. Maybe there's this exam you're supposed to take and you don't even know. Without even knowing, you just go and sit down in the hall to write your paper, and they'll come in and be like, if you haven't registered for this, you can't sit for this exam. And that's just how you get busted. So try, if you can, try, be on that queue. And that's why I said resume early, because when you resume early, you'll be able to enjoy the process, because not a lot of things are started happening in class. So you can take a day, 2 days, 3 days, or even a week to finalize your registration. There are a lot of registrations that happen for freshers. Like, freshers always have a lot of registrations to do. You have medicals, you have the ones for school, you have the ones for departments, a lot. So try, if you can, to finish. Even if maybe you cannot finish it, just make sure it's not so much, maybe just 1 or 2, but make sure that the major ones, you do them as early as possible to avoid it coming back to haunt you. Don't say I did not tell you. My third advice for the freshers is to get acquainted with your environment. Yes, I mean, do you know one of the things we used to know freshers in school is the questions? Like, you just see somebody like, excuse me, do you know how can I get to this place? Excuse me, how can I get to this place? You don't want to be asking strangers a lot of questions. That is why I say try to get acquainted with your environment, because when you're familiar with your environment, you won't have to be asking questions. And there are also certain factors why you need to get acquainted with your environment. So example now, most freshers, they actually spend a lot of money. Not that they actually want to spend that money, but because they don't know how to find their way. Like, they don't know how to find their way to that place they want to go to. So they just end up, entering whatever means of transportation you have in your school. You don't want that. But when you're able to get familiar with your environment, like now, if you're a science student, you try to get to know your lab, know your departments, know your lecturers' offices, know how to navigate to the restaurant, know how to find the library, the ICT hall, different areas in school, the multipurpose hall, whatever it is, however your school is designed. Try to know how to navigate your way in school. It is very, very important, because sometimes you want to save money. You don't want to be entering shuttle all the damn time. Sometimes you just want to walk. Sometimes you just want to move. Or sometimes even your lecturers will come to us and be like, we're not having this lecture here. We're going to have it in a different place. But because you don't even know how to find your way to that place, you just end up coming very late for the class, that you can't even get a very decent seat, where you can sit to hear the lecturer. So and if you notice, all this advice I'm giving you follows in a very chronological order. I said resume early, because when you resume early, you'll be able to do your registration on time, and by doing your registration, so you also get familiar and acquainted with the environment. So try to know your school, try to know around your school, try to know those important buildings in school to have a more seamless stay. My fourth advice for the freshers is to take your studies very seriously. I mean, this point I'm about to give you is a very important part of this video. Try to take your studies very seriously. Quote me anywhere, okay? Your first year in school is actually that year you can hit one of your highest GPAs in uni, because as a first year student, most of the classes or most of the courses you take are just like an advanced, just a little bit of an advancement to what you've done in secondary school. So it won't be so hard, it won't be so tasking that, it won't be anything very, very fresh. From your second year, you start doing courses like your main courses, but your first year is just like an advancement of those courses you've taken in high school. So take your classes very seriously. You will see some people, I understand, you're a new student, you're very fresh in school, everything is still getting to you, everything is still getting to your head, you're super excited that you got accepted into school. I understand and I get it, but also understand that you must attend your classes, because uni is a place where, look at the name, university. It's a universe. It's an entire world on its own. Nobody is there to baby you. Nobody is there to pat you at the back. Nobody is there to wake you up and be like, Stephanie, wake up, go to classes. Nobody will reprimand you for not even coming to class. But everything will play out in your CGPA at the end of the semester or at the end of the year, whatever. Try to be very disciplined. Wake up in the morning, take your bath, find your way to class, sit in class, listen carefully, take notes, get the handout, read, go to the library. If you can attend night classes, fine, do your night classes, but make sure you take your classes in 100 level very seriously. A lot of the people that I know, what has saved them was that extremely high GPA they had in 100 level. Because I hope you've heard the saying that goes that the higher you go, the tougher it becomes. 200 level would definitely become tougher than 100 level, because from your 200 level you start to take courses, you start to do your main course, like everything gets fresh, everything is like, let's start anew. Whatever course you're taking, or whatever major you're in, you start to delve into the nitty-gritty of that your major. So that is why I say that your 100 level, since it's still something that you're very familiar with, make sure you struggle hard. Go to class, forget all those party and just forget all those things. The time will come when you will do it to the fullest, but for the now, as a 100 level student, take your classes seriously. Go to class, don't skip class, don't be in the hostel drinking golden morn and conflicts. Go to classes, take your classes seriously, and make sure you read. Don't wait till they say 1 week to exam before you start looking for handouts, before you start looking for who to steal their handouts. Don't do that. Make sure as your lecturers are coming, whatever handouts they say you should get, if you can't get them, if you can't photocopy from any other person, get the handouts. Make sure you read ahead of time. That's one thing I advise so much. Read ahead of time. If you have all these tutorial centers in school, you can also attend, because tutorial actually really helped me when I was in my 100 level. Sometimes you come to class and maybe that's thing that was taught in class, you're not you don't fully understand it, but at the tutorial center everything will be broken down into fragments for you to understand. So if there are tutorial centers in school, try to enroll in one, take your classes seriously, like read ahead of time. Once they teach you something, make sure you go understand that thing, so that when they say the exam is near, you won't be panicking, you won't be scared, you won't be shivering, you won't start to look for just be doing crazy things just because you are not prepared, and at the end of the day you will fail. Try to make your GPA from your 100 level. I hope I am clear. My fifth advice for you, the freshers, is to choose your friends wisely. Yes, I say choose your friends wisely, because the friends you make in uni can either make or mar your stay. I hope that is not tautology, but yes, your friends you make in uni can either make or mar your stay in uni. So try to make friends that have similar goals and interests like yourself. You're a student who wants to acquire a GPA of 4.8 or 4.7 at the end of the term or at the end of the year, and you're moving and following somebody that parties from Monday to Sunday. You're moving or following somebody that doesn't go to classes. You're moving or following someone that doesn't even know the name of the course they take in class. We have people like that don't even know the name of the courses they take in school. You're moving with someone that always sleeps in the hostel. And one funny thing about this thing is that those people that you're following, they might actually be very fast learners. We have different kind of people in school. They might actually be very, very fast learners, like quick learners that 2 days to exam, just give them the handout and they will ace that exam for you. But you, on the other hand, you're someone that maybe you need to read 3-4 times to understand or grasp the concept of that course or the subject or the topic you're reading. But you'll be following a fast learner. Don't be stupid. Don't act stupid. You need to be very smart. Make friends with people that you see yourself in, people that speak the same language as you speak. When I say that, I don't mean it literally. I mean people that have the same mindset as yourself. It will help you, because that way they would even be motivating you to do more. They will be motivating you to push harder. But when if you're someone that is good, like you're academically sound, you're a very devoted student, but your friend is somebody that parties, they will influence you somehow. They will influence you that there's this thing, like example, maybe you're in a room and you're reading or you're studying and your roommate is not studying, or maybe the roommate is sleeping. There's this thing, before you know it, that sleep will just enter you and you just go and lie down with them. So that's what I mean. But when you're around people that are very serious, especially for your first year, you know that you want to hit that maximum GPA, you need to surround yourself with like-minded individuals so that you would have a great thing. So, because at the end of the day, see, when it's time to check results, it used to sweet when you are looking at your result, like you're just seeing A. It's always sweet though. Those people that you see frown are those that did not take their paper seriously. But you see you that devoted your day. See, hard work pays. That is one thing I've learned in school. Hard work pays. So know your friends, know the people you surround yourself with, because they will either make or mar your stay in school. My sixth advice for you guys is to be smart with the guys. Now, this point, I am not really going to delve into it very so deeply. I'm just going to touch on it lightly. When I mean be smart with the guys, I don't mean don't be friends with guys. I don't mean don't associate yourself with guys. But what I mean is that just be very smart. You're a fresher, and you've heard this thing like people are just looking for the next fresh thing, the next new thing. So you're, as a fresher, especially if you're a fine girl, you're going to have a lot of guys making advances at you. Now, mind you, many of them, it's not like they like you like that. It's not like they like, go and ask maybe if you ask questions around, maybe the 200 level that were formerly 100 level, they must have dealt with all those ones finish, because you are now new, they want you. So I'm not saying don't be friends or don't be cool or whatnot, but just use your brain, okay? Many of them are not in, like they are in for you. It's just because you're new, you're fresh, and they just want a fresh breed, like a fresh thing to just divorce. So just be very careful. Let guys not be your first priority in school. You went to school to study. Your main goal, your main aim of being in school is to study and come out with a very good grade. Like, good grades are very, very important. Good grades will take you places. So don't let boys be the first thing you think about. You're going to uni so that you can see boys. I mean, hello. That is a very, very terrible mindset. Go to school because I want to be in school. And maybe along the line, if it happens, but just be smart. Use your brain. My seventh advice for the freshers is to participate in extracurricular activities if you can. Participate in extracurricular activities if you can. Now, extracurricular activities, I mean, is like, there are some societies in church where you join, some voluntary organizations where you just volunteer to do this. Maybe if you're a medical student, where you can assist in the hospital, just make sure that you're doing something aside, studying, where you can just volunteer to help your society, your community in one way or the other. Because I've heard that such things, they actually help students a lot, when you're applying for a job, or maybe when you're even trying to maybe go abroad to study. During your application process, I know that I've heard that there are places where you have to fill out these things, like, okay, what did you do aside your schoolwork, aside your good GPA? Did you volunteer to do anything in school? This is where things like that come in. So you don't have to be in all the societies in school. You can just pick one, and maybe you're the president, you're the vice president, or maybe even a member, but just be in a society in school, a place where you can just volunteer. Because when they are employing people, they always look out for, okay, did you do something to help? Did you do something to just help in your society, to improve your community? Just try. Engage in anything. It can be in church, it can be in school. There's so many organizations, there's so many societies in school where you can be a part of. So if you can't, just make sure you participate in any extracurricular activity. My last and final advice to the freshers is to ask questions to the past sets. So you're a fresher, you have 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, maybe even 500 and even 600. I don't know. I said this in one of my videos that when you ask questions, you don't get lost. Asking questions, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. You're just new in this environment. You're new into the system. There's only much that you know. There's only so much you know. So what better way than to ask questions? Meet somebody in 200 level, meet somebody maybe 200, meet someone in 300. Let them tell you how the system works, especially in your department. Let them tell you about the lecturers and how they grade. I put it to you, we have lecturers, okay? But lecturers, most times I notice that most of them, their grading system are actually very different. So when you might like a lecturer might set, like two lecturers might set the same exam, but lecturer A might be looking for something different than lecturer B. So try to ask this your past sets questions. Let them tell you, okay, when you're writing this man paper, this is how you should put it. When you're writing this man paper, this is what he looks out for. Make sure you ask them questions. They can give you their notes, they can give you like handouts, they can give you textbooks, or they can just give you hints on how the school is, how things work in the department, what you should know, things you should be aware of in school. Just ask questions. Like when you ask questions, you would be 2 or 3 steps ahead of somebody that is just gallivanting around the school without even knowing their left from their right. Try to meet your past sets. Try to ask them questions. The ones who just moved from 100 level to 200, try to ask them questions. It will do you a lot of good to ask them questions. These are the 8 advice I am going to be giving to the freshers. I mean, there are so many more that I can say, but on this video it's just going to be 8. Maybe I'll make a part 2 of this some other time, but for now I hope that everything I have said will be of help to you. I hope that everything I have said will help you or will benefit you. Even if it's one thing you take out of this video, I know that everything I've said is very, very insightful and informative, and if you can take, even if it's one thing out of this video, your stay in school will be very, very seamless. To all my freshers out there who just recently got admitted to school, congratulations to you all. I know how hard it is to apply to school, and I know how hard it is to even get accepted to school. So if that is your case, congratulations to you all, and I hope you have a very, very great stay in school. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please kindly click on the red subscribe button below to be a part of this family, and to also see more and more and more videos like this. And if you end up enjoying this video, kindly give it a big thumbs up. Those by liking the video, you just encourage me to do more and just to put in more effort. Yeah, so thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next video.